Okay, I've been having some major issues with recording. Hopefully, this one freaking works out this time. For some reason, last time I recorded, it recorded the video fine, but it recorded the audio coming in from my mic, like my voice. It recorded that at half speed for some reason. Made no sense to me. Now it's working fine, apparently, if I open FL first. So that's weird. Maybe it's because maybe it's a driver conflict there. That might be. Okay. So, um, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is a Trance pluck tutorial. I did it earlier today, actually. I spent like a good hour and a half on it. And then I realized that the mic volume down here in my actual control panel here, the volume level was at 0 that whole freaking time, so that literally didn't even record my voice that whole time. So I was just going to speed it up and make it like what would it be, a time lapse of me making a song. That didn't work out too well either, so I just decided to scratch it and start over. So right now, this is a Trance pluck tutorial, how to integrate it. Trance plucks are actually pretty easy. And I'm going to have to record with Edison on my sound card because I don't have a way to record my actual driver right now. But it's all good. Just a tip here. I'm going to show you what's on my master channel before we get into it. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff. This is just what I use for mastering later on. And really, I don't even do any mastering other than getting it as close to 0 decibels as I can. Edison right now, that doesn't even apply to you guys. That's just me recording this sound. I've got two waveforms set up. Those are these two right here. Before and after the effects plugins here, I've got Maximus that I'm going to use for some compression when I'm finished with the track, a limiter here, and then a volume to boost the volume. But you don't even have to worry about any of these. They literally won't apply to you. That's just how I have my default project set up. So let's go ahead and get into it. The VST of choice today for the pluck, I'm going to be using Toxic. You can use Toxic, Citrus, pretty much any VST you want. I've really been getting into Citrus and Harmor lately. Harmless is also really good for plucks. It's actually got some really bright pluck sounds you can get out of that. But right now I'm going to use Toxic. So first thing I'm going to do is load Toxic, and I'm going to set the oscillator 1 to a sol, just so it's more prominent and I can hear it better. You'll probably catch feedback off my headphones with the mic because I have the mic right in front of me. Don't pay too much attention to it. I'll try to edit it out as much as I can. I'm going to turn on a delay just so I can kind of hear the differences. I'm turning on a low pass filter, and I'm going to turn the EG amount all the way up. So basically, when the cutoff is all the way up, I want this sound to be sustained all the way up. No release, no attack. Okay. Now I'm going to use the cutoff filter to give it that pluck sound. So I'm going to take the cutoff all the way down, turn the EG amount all the way up. Basically what's happening is this is giving it a low pass filter. When the EG amount is all the way down, it basically means that the cutoff, no matter what you do to the cutoff, it's going to sound like all these settings are going to be as if the cutoff is all the way down. If you turn EG all the way up, it's the exact opposite. So what I'm going to do is turn the EG up all the way and then set my filter settings here with a short decay, no sustain, and no release. So I get that kind of plucky sound. I'm going to go ahead and give it some voices to a little bit, 8% detune or so, 9%, pan up all the way. I'm going to give it another oscillator 2 of a square and turn that up to 100% volume and the pitch down. And now I'm going to go ahead and make my progression. So I'm going to label this pluck 1-1 for both the channel name, pattern name, and track name will be pluck 1. We'll go ahead and lay it down in here like I'm in my playlist here. Now we'll go into the piano roll, and I'm going to go ahead and make a progression. I'm going to do 1 count on the first beat, on the first, second, third, and fourth beats, and I'm also going to do 1 on the off beat. So it's going to look just like this, 8th notes. just like that. And now I'm going to copy that across for 4 bars here. And I'm going to make that higher because I want to... copy that down. I was going to do one on the offbeat right before the first count on every single bar. I was going to change it there, but what I think I might do is actually change it on the 16th count there, and then keep it normal like this. Like such. Copy here. So I'll just copy this one again here. Same thing. I'm not going to be very talkative when I'm doing these progressions because I can't concentrate on more than one thing. I'm a man. So naturally. Okay, let's see what we got here. I just transposed the middle notes down a whole octave. Okay, now I want to transpose this top one down. I'm going to copy and paste it, transpose it down twice. Actually 3 times. There we go. That sounds awesome. Now what I want is to kind of mess with this filter again and try to get something to more of my liking. So I'll turn this EG amount. That might actually be it. There we go. I'm debating whether or not to do this. I don't know if it's going to sound good or not. So let's try it. There's no harm in trying this. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to keep that up there. So right now we already got something that sounds kind of full. It actually sounds really cool. What I'm going to do now is actually copy that for 8 bars. I might change it up on the second half there, but for right now I'm going to go ahead and give that its own mixer channel just by highlighting a mixer channel, pressing Ctrl L will link it there. Rename that just pluck 1. I'm going to send that to this channel because I always send my channels to routes or buses, whatever you guys call it. I call them routes. Same thing. Bring the route down -6 decibels, just that way. It brings the volume down and it's easier to master. You don't have to worry about your project clipping at all if you produce at a low volume. Don't produce at too low of a volume that you're going to have to boost everything like insane amount. That's just uncalled for. What I like to do is base everything off of the kick. And I put the kick to a -6 route and then I turn the kick down -6 decibels. And so it's at -12 when I start. Usually when I go to the master, if I start with a kick at that volume and build all the dynamics around that, it usually comes out to about -8 decibels, anywhere from -8 to -6. I don't usually go above -6 when I start at that low of a volume. So that's just a pro tip there. I'm going to go ahead and make a reverb on the send. I'll call it reverb 1. I'm going to use the free plugin Ambience. You can download, just Google Ambience Reverb plugin. That's all I did. I'm going to use the preset Sacha K Long Reverb 1, if that's how you pronounce it, Sacha. Turn wet as close to 0 as you can. It's not too important. Dry all the way down. You don't want to hear any of the dry when we're listening to this reverb. Now I'm going to add a fruity filter. Filters, when it comes to the fruity filter, it doesn't matter if you turn resonance down all the way, you're always going to have a little bit of resonance. So I like that on my reverb. Personally, that's why I'm using this. It's probably not the best plugin to use if you're using a filter on an instrument though, unless you want resonance. You could also use the EQ, but this is a faster way, and I also like the effect it gives. So right now is where I'm going to give this pluck some reverb here. Sounds awesome, right? There you go. That would be one instance of a trance pluck. I'll go ahead and start working on another one here with Harmless and see if I can't get a melody going. But that's pretty much it for that style. I mean, it's just once you get the pluck sound that you want, again, it's all made in the, all I did was make it in the filter. You could use the master envelope up here, but I like the filter envelope. It's gives it a lot nicer sound. Plus, you can bring it, when you bring it up, it's got the, I don't know why I was clicking that. It sounds awesome. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and add a instance of Harmless, and I'll go ahead and try to work on a melody or something here. Pluck 1, 2. Since I've already turned this down -6 decibels on that first pluck, I'm going to do the same thing here. I was going to send all the pluck, actually that'd be pluck 2, 1. I'm very organized, so I have a way I do this. Those would be pluck 2. Okay, I was going to send them to the same one, but since they're going to be different types of plucks, originally I wasn't going to do that, but since they are. I'm going to turn this frequency up all the way, and I'm going to turn this pluck down to about there. That's the pluck envelope there. I'm going to turn the amount up. This is basically the same thing as EG here. I'm going to set the decay for when it's all the way down. Wait, am I right there? Why do I feel like I'm not right? Oh, if I turn frequency down and then that all the way? Okay, yeah, frequency down all the way. That's right. Something like that. Okay, I'm gonna turn warm compression or heating compression on there. Okay, something like that. Let's see what we got. I'll change that last couple notes there. I'm just gonna give this some reverb. Like this. Maybe I'll change this up here. I don't know. I'm just messing around here. Something like this will sound pretty cool in my opinion. Let's see. Okay, now I'm gonna change this a bit here. Change the chords. E and then G. Okay, so that will be like there. Okay, let me see how this sounds. I think this will sound pretty cool. Not bad. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's another pluck. It doesn't take too long. It's just a matter of shortening that. If you couldn't figure that on your own, well, you probably need to practice a lot more. It's all about the effects after that. Let's see here. What else can I add? I'll give you a little percussive kind of loop here to kind of see how that would play out. I'll just go to Vengeance and grab a loop from here. It's at 128. Okay, there we go. Usually I'll put this in a slicer and then I can edit it a lot. But for time-consuming purposes, I'm just going to turn the volume down here. There you go. Cool. Also, I'll give it some side chaining here just real quick so you can kind of hear how that sounds in context with it. I don't know why I did that. Oops. Forgot. Okay, there we go. Really don't need to name it because I'm not going to be saving this project. Maybe I'll save the chords, but that'll be about it. Okay, as far as side chaining, I don't know how you guys side chain. I use a ghost kick. So basically I've got this kick going on every beat. I'm going to turn it off to the master channel. And then I'm going to use a peak controller here. Peak 1, kick 1. There you go. Unmute it from there. And on, I'm actually going to, okay, I'll use a balance to link it. Inverted at 0.8. I use 0.8 because that's the amount that all these volumes are set to at default, so it'll only go back up to that point. So I'm gonna rename that sidechain. I'm gonna do the same thing for this pluck. I muted it. Don't know why I selected equal. Same thing. Link the volume to peak 1. Inverted at 0.8. Sidechain. Okay, reverb 1 on the send. I'm also going to give the exact same amount of sidechaining. And I'm actually going to turn the sidechaining off by default and gradually move it up. So it'll sound like this without sidechaining, and then I'll move it up. Now when I do that, it's going to give this stuff less reverb. It's going to sound like so. I'm going to give this a channel here because it's easier to edit. There you go, some ear candy for you. Actually, I can just copy this. Kick 1 1. Send it here. Trance pluck for you. There you go. That's pretty much it for trance plucks. There's a lot more you can do with that. I'm not going to go over it at all, obviously, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how I make mine. I usually use toxic or harmless, depending on what kind of feel I want to go to. I feel like harmless, you can get some really nice bell sounds also. Same concept, just mess with the harmonics a bit. The harmonic mask too. I'm not really going to go over this but too much, but I figure I might as well touch base with it. I'm going to copy that progression there and put it in here. This is pluck 2, right? Okay. I'm going to set this to the default here. I'm just going to show you something you can do. This harmonic mask here turns off different frequency of harmonics, and it sounds amazing. So this is some of the stuff you get. So yeah, it's very interesting sound there. I mean, it's honestly the best plugin I'd say I'm really getting into is Harmor. You do so much with Harmor because it's just ridiculous, all the stuff you can do. You can pretty much edit the articulation of pretty much every single knob on here. It is like mind-blowing. So I really suggest you get Harmor if you don't have it. I'm not too good at it, so I didn't want to make any plucks in it out of here and then look like a fool. So, but for right now, I mean, this sounds pretty good. All that for a couple minutes of production is not too bad. So hopefully you guys learned something from this. It was just kind of a quick thing I decided to do. If you want to know how I did anything else in any of my tracks, just let me know and I will try to make a video for it. I'm going to start trying to make more of these videos. Mainly they're for my friends, or my producer friends, who have some questions for me. I know some of you guys were asking how I do some of my plucks. Mainly I use harmless and toxic. So this is pretty much how I do them. Of course I change this stuff up. I think in the next video I'll make a how to kind of distorted bass with toxic. Maybe the Cohen bass that I made. I don't know, we'll see. But let me know if you guys like this video and if you want me to make more. Shout out to John and Dakota. Dakota, we really need to finish that collaboration. I know you're getting kind of lazy on it, so am I. We haven't even bounced a revision back to each other in like almost 2 months, I think, so that's something we should start working on because that's a good project, honestly. I like that one. So, thanks for watching, guys.